Hello and welcome back to another make for Creep on June 25. Alright, so I've been doing a little bit of prep work today, and this is the base I'm going to be using today. As I said in one of my previous videos, I printed all these off and cut them up and then realised that they'd all got a day allocated to them, by which time I'd muddled them all up and I don't know which is which really. So I'm going to be using them in a random order, and this is the one I'm using today. Now I've actually printed a second copy of this. This is my original, which I'd started to prep, and for some reason, unbeknown to me really, I had printed my original bases onto paper, which wasn't a sensible idea. Anyway, I've backed this onto a piece of card, and as you will see, I've already punched a hole in it, and I'll tell you what that's going to be for in a minute. But I also wanted a second one because I want to utilise this, so we'll come to that in a minute. Right, my idea today is a fairly simple one, and really it was sparked by this. I printed the background sheet, the page, which is in the same pattern as this, as a 5x7, and I used it to cut some page tags out using my page tabs, not tags, using my Cricut machine. Do you see these? Aren't these awesome? I got these in a charity shop the other day for $2 each, and they're really brilliant for all the ephemera. Anyway, oh, here we go. This is what I was going to show you. Right, yes, so I printed this A5 size and used my Cricut to cut out some little page tabs and things. And this piece was left over, and I kind of looked at it and went, oh, that would make a great belly band. So that's my starting point of inspiration today. And so I found the tag, I guess it would be, the base that coordinates with it, and I'm going to use that. So as I say, quite a simple idea today. I'm going to fold this in half, like this, and can't find my bone folder. Oh, there it is. Too much stuff on my desk. Right. So I'm just going to crease that down nicely like that. And as you can see, I have already put a hole in there. And that's because I don't want to forget to pop this in. So as you can probably tell, I'm going to do a closure on the front of here with some string. So I've got punched out 2 circles in coordinating paper, stuck them together, popped a hole in the middle, and I'm going to be putting my split pin through there. Now I want to do that first because I'm going to line this, and then that will hide the back of the split pin. So before I do anything else and show you what I'm going to do, I'm going to ink around the edge of this and the little closure circle, and also I'll do the belly band whilst I'm doing it. And I think I've got my black and my sepia ink here, so I think I'm going to use black today. So how's everybody doing? I hope you're loving this challenge. I've been away from home this week, so I've not had chance to do much creating, but I have been able to watch some of the videos that have been popping up online, and I've been absolutely loving them and taking lots of inspiration from them. And it never ceases to amaze me the you know, what different people do with the same base or the same piece of ephemera. So I've been really enjoying that. Okay. actually just split down the side, the spine there a little bit, not split but the print, but that's okay because it all adds to that lovely grungy look. A little bit more around the top here. Now, so that's that one. So if you've been inspired by some of the lovely videos that have been going around for the Creep on June, it's not too late to join in. I believe that the kit that Tracie Fox has produced for this challenge is still up on her both her website and her Ko-fi site. So have a look. Tracie Fox Creative. Right, now that belly band is a little bit thin, but it's going to be stuck onto something else, I think, so I'm not too worried about that right now. Now, I'm going to do this, and you might think I sound paranoid, but I always forget to do this first so that the split pin is hidden. So I'm going to pop that in there. And press that down. Okay, now what I am going to do is this is going to be covered. I'm just going to pop a little bit of masking tape over that. Just so that those ends don't poke through. Let's put that to one side for a minute. Okay, now I've got these are book pages. Look at this, isn't this fantastic? I picked this book up and it was outside one of our charity bookshops in the free box. I'm assuming it's in German and it's a child's storybook. This is Stuttgart, Berlin and Leipzig. My schoolgirl German is very limited, but what attracted me was this incredible writing. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I thought it would be really cool to line this. So I've cut a couple of strips the right size. And I'm going to be using my matte gel medium, and what I'm going to be doing is just gluing them on to line this, and you will see why in a moment. Under a book just for a few minutes so that it dries nice and flat. There we go, good old dictionary. And while that's drying, I'm going to do some work on what is going to go inside it. So now I made myself a little template which is the same as this. And what I have done is to cut some double pieces like this. So in effect, they are the same as this. Now I've also got some sort of smaller bits, which were really just the leftover bits from the pages that I was cutting, and I didn't want to waste them, so I'm going to use those as well. So I'm going to intersperse probably one big one, one small one. And this is just paper. It's genuinely old paper, actually, that's come from an old sketch pad. So it's got a nice kind of vintage colour to it already. Now these are going to be my pages inside my little folio. Alright, now they may well need cutting down when we put them in, but I'd rather cut them slightly bigger than they need to be and then cut them down afterwards. So that's what's going to go inside. Now, I could just pop them in as they are, but I like to add a little bit of interest to some of them. So I'm going to bring back my ink pad and stamper, and I'm going to grab a stencil. Now, this stencil has sort of a similar pattern to there, and what I'm going to do is just to grab a couple of these pages and I'm just going to, actually, you know what, a brush might be better, bear with me. Got my brush, works better with stencils. Right, so I'm just going to pick out little bits of that design. I'm not wanting it to be too bold, I'm almost just sort of wanting a bit of a shadow. There we go. Let's flip it over, we'll add a little bit on here as well. And this is clearly going to be some journaling space, but you know, it doesn't mean to say it has to be completely blank. I can add a little bit of interest here and there while still leaving lots of space for journaling. There we are, that's our middle bits done. Let's see how our base is drying up. Okay, that's great, and that's nice and flat now. So I'm going to bend that in half. And as I say, I'm keeping this quite simple today. That's going to pop in there. So yeah, we'll need just a little bit of trimming that side, but that's okay. Alright, before I put that in, there's one more thing I want to do. Do you know what I am going to do? Is just to find... I'm going to find a little bit of washi tape. Oh, that's my big washi tape box. That one will work. And I don't mind if this shows, but I'm just going to pop a little bit of that down the middle. It's going to stop those edges coming up. Help. going to be okay. There we go. It's going to hold those edges down, and also it's just going to give a little bit more strength to what is in effect the spine. Okay. Right. Now, before I put the pages in, this is where my second one that I've printed off is coming into play. I'm just going to quickly cut this out. And these are actually going to become little pockets on each side of our little notebook. So what I'm going to do is to grab my hole punch, put them back together. Didn't cut them quite evenly, did I? Never mind. And I'm just going to eyeball, put a little notch in. There we go. I'm just going to trim down there because where I folded it, I haven't cut exactly down that fold. That's better. Right. I'm actually going to go around the whole of the outside again with a bit more ink afterwards. So I'm just going to ink those inside edges at the moment. And I'm really just wanting to take off the white that you see where we've cut the card. The strong glue. Okay, I was having all sorts of problems with this. Bit of that. I'm just going to put a little bead of glue around the edge to hold it at the moment. Because what I am going to do is to get the sewing machine and just stitch around the edge of this. I'm lining up those top edges, so if I do need to cut any off, that can be down the bottom. There we go. Now I was looking for a clip, I can't see one. Do you know what? My desk looks like an absolute bomb site today. Oh dear. Right. Again, I'm going to leave that to dry for a few minutes, and then, as I say, I'm going to run the sewing machine around it and trim off all the excess bits there. Right, leave that to dry. So we've got our cover, we've got our pages. Let's think about our belly band. Now, I've got some black paper, which it could be backed on. I've also got some ribbon, which not really wide enough to go underneath, but could go over the top because you can still see some of the design through it. Or I've got some lace. I guess it's sort of, for me, it depends which page this is going to go on. I think, because the lace, I'll tell you for why, the lace I want to use, there's a couple of pages that have got beautiful pictures of women on, and I thought this lace would be really nice on those pages. So I might hang on to that for now. Might put a bit of this just over the top like that, and I'm not actually going to glue that down because I am going to put something on in the middle of the belly band there. So what I am going to do, actually use masking tape again, because I'm going to back it onto there, and sellotape doesn't hold the glue very well. So I'm just going to stick one in there, pull it reasonably taut. I don't want to buckle it, but I do want that to be laying flat over the top. Like that. There we go. Yeah, I quite like that because you can still see through it, but it's adding a bit of interest. Alright, what I'm going to do now is to stick that on and just trim around it. So I've got this stronger glue out, might as well use that. That will make sure that it sticks. With myself whether to run a couple of lines of stitching down there if I'm getting the machine out, but I actually don't think I'm going to. My idea is to use one of these little quotes to pop on the top there, and I've got that. I've pulled that one out. All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. And I thought that might be quite good for sort of a page at the start. But what's on here? By a route obscure and lonely, haunted by ill angels only, where Eidolon named Night on a black throne reigns upright. Now I had to actually look up Eidolon, and apparently it's a spectre or a like a ghostly type creature. So maybe we'll put that one. Let's cut it out and see. I'm not familiar with a great deal of Edgar Allan Poe's work. I am familiar with The Raven, which of course was one of his really famous poems. But I believe that a lot of these quotes come from various poems that he's written. dried up, and And as you can see, I've gone just around the edge very simply with a running stitch on the machine. I've left the ends there, might do something with those, we'll see. So we've got our two little tuck spots or pockets here. And I also picked one of the images, because this one, all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream, and I thought he looked like he was perhaps just sitting there in a little dream-like state. So I'm conscious, very conscious of not adding too much bulk, but I did think that that would just slip in there nicely. And of course we can always come back at a later date and add more in, but let's get this together. So we've got maybe something like this. That's a bit longer. Yeah, and we've got a bit of a contrast there. So I'm sure you've all done these before. Goes around under the fastening and ties. One more just to make sure it's secure. There we go. I can trim that end off. And then this end just wraps around and secures it like that. I may add a little something on there. Where's that piece? There we go, this is a piece that I cut off something just now. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm thinking like the little tags you get on tea bags. Oh, it's a purple staple. I forgot I'd got those in there. Never mind. There we go. I'll add a bit of colour. Right, I think we're just about done. Oh, let's put a little tag or journaling card even in there. So I've got another pocket there. As I say, we can always come back and have like a little bookmark. Actually, we could put another of those on there, couldn't we? And then it would be a little bookmark. Bear with me. There we go. Do you know what? I'm going to get out while the going's good. All right. So we've got our little booklet, a notebook with pages and a little bookmark in there. Journaling card tucked in here. We'll tie that up. And we've got our belly band, which it's going to tuck underneath. So the only other thing to do is to decide where I'm going to put it. I don't know whether to start at the front of my journal and just work my way through, or whether to pick a page. I think, yeah, that's a bit too much, isn't it? I think I quite like the green against this one. I'm thinking about how to attach this because that is quite bulky already. So this is the corner pocket which came on the same page. I'm just wondering whether it might be better in there. I'm a little bit worried because I've already got something on the other side of this page, so I can't attach it with brads or anything. So maybe we look at a different page for this to go on. I don't know whether I like that or whether it's too much. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be interested. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? I rather like that. And what I can do is either put a couple of brads in there, or I can stitch it. I'm going to stitch it. Oh, I'll be back. There we go. I'm always really reluctant to stitch into a journal that's already put together because like, what if you muck it up? And I always feel like I need about 3 hands to hold the journal, get it in the right place under the needle, all that. Anyway, it's come out okay, and the stitching that we can see on the other side I will incorporate or cover up when we do that page there. I'm going to leave those threads for now. They may get on my nerves and I might take them off, but for now we'll leave them. Okay, so here is our completed page. So we've got a belly band holding a little notebook with some pockets and a journaling tag. There we go. All right, so I hope this has been inspirational. Please do keep watching for more Creep on June videos and support all those channels out there that are joining in. For now, thank you for watching. Ka kite anō.